I never believed in the supernatural. I believed in real-world things. Hostile terrain, disappearances, rescues. That was my life. If no one else can get them out, call Carter. That was my reputation. But nothing, absolutely nothing, prepared me for what happened in the Congo. It started with a phone call. The man never said his name, never said his company. He just said, "There is a forest where people disappear. No bodies, no blood, no footprints, just silence. We need someone brought back." I laughed at first, because when people vanish in a forest, you usually find a body. But then he said the sentence that froze my blood. "If there was a body, Carter, we wouldn't be calling you." I should have turned the mission down. I should have hung up. But the money was brutal. And I accepted. 3 days later, I was in the Congo. And on the first night, I realized it wasn't a rescue mission. It was a hunt for something no one wanted to find. The closest village was 90 kilometers from the coordinates. Nobody wanted to point the way, until an old man, Makenga, saw the map. He snapped, slammed his hand on the table and screamed,
"That forest is not from this world. It was not made for humans. Whoever enters does not return."
Then he asked the question I didn't want to answer.
"How many went before you?"
I stayed silent, because the truth was insane. 37 explorers, 12 military personnel, 3 researchers, 1 child, daughter of one of the soldiers. None returned. Still, I went. Right before I left, Makenga grabbed my arm and whispered,
"The forest does not take you immediately. First, it learns what will make you walk into it on your own."
I didn't understand then. I would later. Too late. The entrance looked normal, too normal. No wind, no animals, no insects, just waiting. The moment I took the first step, the temperature dropped, from burning heat to freezing cold. My equipment died instantly, compass spinning, radio static, GPS dead. But I kept walking. Hours passed. Then I found something that made every muscle in my body lock. A child's backpack, hanging perfectly on a tree branch. No dirt, no damage, as if someone placed it there seconds ago. Inside it, a child's sweater, a water bottle, and a notebook, open to the last written page. "He is calling me from behind the trees. He says he knows me." That alone was bad, but what came after was worse. The word "help," written over and over and over, pressed so hard the paper nearly tore. And then the sound began. Not an animal, not a human. Something trying to imitate a human, like a voice learning, practicing, rehearsing. I should have run. I should have escaped. But the forest didn't want me to run. It wanted me to follow. And then it spoke, with my mother's voice. "Miles, come here. I miss you." And without realizing, I took 2 steps forward. That was the moment I understood. The forest doesn't chase you, it makes you want to come to it. I tied a rope around my waist and anchored it to a tree because I knew if I heard that voice again, I would follow. And I did hear it again, over and over. Each time, a different person from my life. My friend who died in Afghanistan, my ex-wife, a child I rescued years ago, my father. Every memory turned into bait. The forest had access to my mind. I thought I was looking for bodies, but I was wrong. I found them standing, alive, breathing, eyes open, empty. People, frozen in place, staring at the trees. I put my hand on one of their shoulders. No reaction. I tried to move him, and then all of them moved at once. Same speed, same angle, same motion, and with perfect synchronization, they pointed deeper into the woods, showing me the path. I walked, because I knew if I didn't follow, they would follow me in the dark. Eventually, I reached the center. Not a hole, not a cave, an opening, a mouth, made of roots, mud, and bones. Inside were objects, rings, watches, shoes, backpacks, toys, clothes, and a camera. The camera of the military officer's daughter. I pressed play. The screen showed a gigantic eye watching through the trees. The girl whispered, "He is not a monster. He is the forest." And the video ended. But something behind me didn't. I felt a breath on the back of my neck. Then I heard my own name with my own voice. I didn't look. I didn't answer. I didn't turn. And the forest got angry. The ground shook. Trees bent like they were bowing to something. And for the first time, the forest spoke in its real voice. "You are mine." I cut the rope. I ran. I didn't look back. I woke up in a military hospital, barely alive. The doctor said I was found outside the forest, collapsed, dehydrated, with drag marks on my legs, as if something pulled me away from the trees. But nothing appeared on thermal cameras, no footprints, no heat signatures. I tried to explain. No one believed me. Then security brought my recovered equipment, including the radio. It had been recording. They played the audio. I was unconscious when they found me, not moving, not speaking. But the radio picked up a voice beside me. Not human, not physical. The voice of the forest. I let him live so he could tell the story. Now everyone who hears it will want to come. The officer shut off the audio, ran out of the room. He left the radio on the table, still recording. And the last thing captured was a whisper. "Miles, your door is open." Right after that, the sound of the hospital door sliding open. I don't remember standing up. I don't remember walking. But I woke up outside, behind the hospital, face to face with a tree line, just standing there, waiting to hear my name again. And now you, the one listening, need to understand something. I wasn't the only thing the forest let go. If after this video you feel like going to a forest or a park or anywhere with trees, if you hear someone calling your name, if you feel a pull toward the woods, if it sounds like someone you love, it isn't nostalgia, it isn't curiosity, it's the forest. It already knows what you love, it already knows what you fear, it already knows your voice. And once it finds the right memory to use against you, you will step inside, and the story will continue. If you're watching this video at night, it might already be too late. The story begins in Uganda, at a boarding school no tourist visits, no parent questions, and no one is allowed to photograph. Mbale Boarding School for Boys. For decades, students walked in through its iron gates. Very few ever walked out. But no disappearance was as fast or as silent as that of 14-year-old Emmanuel Ntege. He vanished at 2:47 p.m. on a normal Wednesday afternoon, just minutes after a photograph was taken of him in the courtyard. That photograph, the last image of him alive, was immediately banned inside the school. Not because it showed the missing boy, but because of what was standing behind him. When the teachers analyzed the image, their blood ran cold. Behind the smiling boy, something towered over him. A tall figure, impossibly thin, bent forward as if its spine had melted, its entire body blurred, vibrating, as if it had slipped into the photo at the exact second the shutter clicked. But the most disturbing detail was not the creature. It was the testimony of every child who stood in that courtyard. There was no one behind him. 27 students, 27 identical statements, not a single hesitation. After that, everything changed. Doors began opening on their own. Students woke up screaming in the night. Employees quit without collecting their things. Until one night, a boy tried to escape. He was found near the gate, shaking, sobbing, crying, "He wants me to smile for the camera." The next night, another student disappeared. Terrified, the board burned every copy of the photograph. Or at least, they thought they did. Because in 2022, the image leaked onto the internet. You might think this is just a story, a myth, until you remember what happened next. The comments began to appear. "Someone is standing behind me. He's at my bedroom door. He keeps asking me to take a picture." And then, the final message. He doesn't want the photo anymore. He wants to replace me. The image was deleted from the internet within hours, but not fast enough. The next day, a photographer from Mbale vanished while editing images inside his home. His camera was found on the floor, still recording. And in the recording, right before the video collapses into darkness, a whisper explains everything. "I only appear to those who look for me." And suddenly, it all makes sense. The danger isn't in seeing the photo. The danger is in trying to see what stands behind the boy. Which is why a rule was created, silent but necessary. If someone ever shows you that image, look only at the boy's face. And never, never try to see the background. Because the blurred figure behind him is not trapped in the picture. She is watching. She is waiting. And the cameras are invitations. This story doesn't begin with blood. It doesn't begin with screams. It begins with something far more dangerous. A familiar voice. When the Kato family moved to the Kenyan countryside, everything was peaceful. Until the sixth night. At 2:53 a.m., the mother woke up and heard her son, Daniel, 16 years old, talking to someone through the window. "Do you remember me? How do you know my name? I can't go out now. She ran to the room, but when she went in, the window was open, the curtains were swaying, and there was no one outside. Daniel said he was talking to a boy who lives in the woods behind the house. A boy who said he missed him. But Daniel had never met anyone there. The parents thought it was just imagination, until the following night, when he got out of bed alone. They heard him say, "I heard you calling me. I'm coming." The mother ran in, desperate, and when she reached the room, she saw Daniel standing completely still, staring out the open window, as if he were waiting for instructions. The next day, they locked up the entire house. It was no use. At 2:54 a.m., Daniel got up again. But this time, it wasn't a child's voice calling him. It was the mother's voice. But the mother was sleeping in the next room. From that moment on, the family stopped believing in imagination. That thing out there knew how to imitate voices, learn voices, recall someone using memories. The father decided to stay awake, hiding in the hallway. And the following night, when Daniel opened the window, his father ran and pulled him back inside. And when he turned to look at what was outside, he saw something tall, thin, crooked, moving backward as if its body were breaking in reverse, sliding across the ground without making a single sound, and speaking in the mother's voice. "Son, come here. Don't run away from me." The family fled that same night, without taking any furniture, without taking any clothes. But the worst was yet to come, because on the first night in a hotel far away, without forest, without a house, without an open window, Daniel woke up at 2:54 a.m. and said, "He found us." The mother, trembling, asked, "How do you know?" And Daniel, pale, replied, "Because today, he's not talking to me. He's talking to you." The mother gathered her courage and walked to the window. There was nobody there, but there was something she couldn't explain. She felt the urge to open it, without knowing why, as if her heart was saying, "It's safe." And then she heard, low, very close, right outside the glass, "I don't need your son anymore. He only came because he heard your voice." Because the creature was never calling Daniel. It was imitating his mother. And now, after hearing her voice, after understanding how she speaks, how she breathes, how she reacts, she no longer needs open windows. She only needs to recognize your voice. And when that happens, she's already too close.